He looked at me like he loved me, and I smiled back, knowing full well what was coming. The worst part isn't what I did. It's how calm I felt while doing it. People keep calling me the victim. If they only knew. She looked me dead in the eyes, right there in front of her friends, and said, "You can't even satisfy me, let alone provide for me." The whole table froze. For a second, it felt like every sound in that fancy restaurant vanished, just me, her, and those words hanging in the air like a slap I didn't see coming. I didn't yell. I didn't throw my drink. I just smiled. A calm, quiet kind of smile. Then I set down my napkin, paid for my salmon, and walked out. But let's rewind a bit. Because that wasn't where it started. Hey viewers, real quick, thank you so much. Over 14% of you are already subscribed, and it honestly means the world. If you're new here and love these wild Reddit-style stories, join the family and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10K. Alright, buckle up. This one? This one still blows my mind. Vanessa and I had been together for about 8 months. She's 24, I'm 25. At first, things were great, late night takeout, bad Netflix marathons, random road trips. But over time, she started changing. Or maybe I started noticing things I'd ignored. I'm a plumber. I own my own business. I work hard, I make good money, and I actually love what I do. Vanessa, though, she's a manager at some high-end boutique downtown. She spends her days surrounded by people dripping in designer labels, sipping overpriced lattes, talking about the next luxury trip they're taking. We've been living in my house for 4 months, a house I fully own, no mortgage, no rent. But lately, she kept making these little comments. Everyone at work lives in those new downtown condos, Mike. They're so much nicer than this place. I'd tell her, babe, this house is paid off. Why would we trade that for rent? And she'd just shrug. Because it's about lifestyle, Mike. That word, lifestyle, started popping up a lot. And then came the girls. Her new work friends. They all dated these polished guys with shiny job titles, digital marketing strategist, corporate finance associate. Suddenly, Vanessa seemed embarrassed to introduce me as a plumber. Why can't you just get a normal job like everyone else, she said once. Vanessa, I told her, I own my job. I make more than most people with those titles. It's not about money, she shot back. It's about what people think. Fast forward to last Friday. Vanessa texts me. Let's go to that new upscale restaurant downtown. It's one of those places where the steak costs as much as my water bill for a week. But I agreed. Then she adds, "Oh, I invited Ashley and Madison from work, and their boyfriends. You'll finally get to meet them." Red flag number 1. Saturday night. The place looks like it was built for people who say things like, "Let's circle back." Dim lighting, gold accents, violin music floating through the air. Ashley and Madison show up with their guys. Kevin and Brad. Button-down shirts, slick watches, big talk about marketing and finance. Vanessa introduces me with the enthusiasm of someone reading a parking ticket. This is Mike, he owns a maintenance company. Not plumbing business. Maintenance company. Like I unclog toilets at Walmart for free. The conversation is awkward. Kevin and Brad keep asking these condescending, "So what do you do exactly?" questions. And every time, Vanessa cuts in with some vague half-truth to make me sound smaller. Then Kevin starts bragging about a surprise Bermuda trip he's planning. Vanessa's eyes light up like Christmas. That sounds amazing. Mike and I never do anything like that. I'm confused. We literally talked about going to Costa Rica in the summer. I remind her. She waves it off. That's different. That's not like a real vacation. Ashley jumps in, bragging about Kevin's surprise trip for their 6-month anniversary. Madison adds their Napa weekend. Vanessa leans closer, loud enough for everyone to hear. See? Some people know how to plan real dates. My jaw clenched so tight I could hear my teeth creak. Then it snowballs. She starts picking apart every date we've ever had. The lake house weekend. The concert. The dinner at Romano's. Those aren't real dates, Mike. They're just normal. At this point, everyone at the table is watching like they just ordered front row drama instead of dessert. I try to keep my cool. Vanessa, maybe we should talk about this at home. She shakes her head. No, I'm tired of pretending everything's fine. I'm tired of pretending this is a future. What's wrong with our future? I ask. What future? She spits back. You're content running a little maintenance business forever. Vanessa, it's a successful business. She crosses her arms, leans back, and delivers the line that slices through me. Mike, you can't even satisfy me, let alone provide for me. The table goes dead quiet. You could hear the forks hit the plates. Ashley and Madison both gasp like we're in a soap opera. I just sit there, stunned, and then I start laughing. Not because it's funny, but because I realize exactly who I'm dealing with. You think Kevin and Brad are more successful than me? I ask. They have real careers, Mike, she hisses. Kevin, you work in digital marketing, right? How much do you make? Kevin stammers but answers. Around 70. And Brad? 85. I nod slowly, savoring the silence. Cool. I made 160 grand last year. Every head at the table swivels. Madison actually whispers, no way. Yep. Emergency calls, commercial contracts, new builds. 6 months booked out. Turns out people like toilets that work. Vanessa turns crimson. Money isn't everything. I laugh again. You literally just said I couldn't provide for you. It's not about the money, she says through clenched teeth. It's about image. Image. That's what it all boiled down to. Not love. Not the life we were building. Just how my job looked to other people. I signal for the check. She stares at me like she's finally realizing she pushed too far. "What are you doing?" she asks. "I'm paying for my dinner. You can't just leave. Watch me." The check comes, $1.50 for 6 people. I toss $40 on the table. 2 drinks and salmon. That's my share. "You always pay when we go out," she whispers. "Yeah, but you just said I can't provide for you. So why keep pretending?" I stand up, smile one last time, and say, "Good luck with your sophisticated friends." And then, I walked out into the cool night air. Heart pounding. Hands shaking. But for the first time in months, I felt free. Little did I know, that night wasn't over yet. Because a few hours later, she showed up at my door, crying. But it wasn't me who opened it. It was my new girl. When I got home that night, I just sat there on my couch staring at the wall. My house felt different. Quieter. Heavier. The air was still thick with everything that had just gone down. 4 months. 4 months of her living in my house, eating the food I bought, sleeping in a bed I paid for, driving around in a car I helped maintain. And then she had the nerve to look me in the eye, in front of strangers, and say I couldn't provide for her. The more I replayed it, the more it burned. Around 11 p.m., my phone started buzzing. Over and over. "Mike, I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. Ashley had to lend me money for my part of dinner. Can you Venmo me back? Mike, please answer me. I'm getting an Uber home. We need to talk." I didn't respond. Not one word. She came stumbling through the front door a little after midnight. Her heels clacked against the tile, sharp and desperate. She tried to talk, voice soft and shaky, but I walked straight to my room and locked the door. I could hear her pacing outside for a few minutes. Then silence. When I woke up Sunday morning, she was gone. There was a note on the kitchen counter in her neat little handwriting. "Staying at Ashley's for a few days. You need to cool off." I laughed. I needed to cool off? That afternoon, I ran out to the hardware store for supplies. I wasn't expecting anything, and then I saw her. Emma. We went to high school together years ago. She'd been that friend who always had a sarcastic joke ready, the kind of person who made ordinary days feel easy. "Mike? Oh my God," she called out, her smile bright and familiar. "Emma? Wow, hey." We stood in that parking lot, talking for almost an hour. She'd just moved back to town, working as a nurse at the hospital. She hadn't changed much, still funny, still quick, still real. "We should grab coffee sometime," she said, tucking a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "I'd like that," I told her. We exchanged numbers. And for the first time all week, I actually felt good. Monday rolled around. Vanessa came by while I was at work, packed up more of her stuff, and left another note. "I need time to think about us." At that point, I didn't even bother reacting. Tuesday, I met Emma for coffee. What was supposed to be 30 minutes turned into 3 hours. We talked about everything: work, family, goals, dreams. She lit up when I told her I own my own business. "That's amazing, Mike. Starting your own company takes guts." I smiled. "Yeah, it's been good to me." "I bet. You're helping people too." When my bathroom flooded last year, I would have paid anything to get it fixed fast. Her reaction was the complete opposite of Vanessa's. No fake smiles. No embarrassment. Just genuine respect. Wednesday, she came over for dinner. I grilled burgers on the back patio, and we watched a movie after. She kept looking around my house like she was seeing something special. "Mike, this place is beautiful. You own this whole house?" "Yeah," I said, trying not to sound too proud. "Bought it 3 years ago." "That's incredible. Most people our age are still renting." It wasn't about the house. It was about how she said it, like she actually meant it. Thursday, Vanessa texted. "Can we meet to talk?" I left it on read. Friday, she decided to go nuclear and call my mom. Yeah, my mom. My mom called me later, practically wheezing with laughter. "Mike, some girl called me crying about how she made a mistake and needs you back." "What did you say?" I asked. I told her if she's dumb enough to be embarrassed about a man who owns his own house and business, she deserves what she got. "Mom, you didn't." "Oh, I did. And then I told her, you raised my son better than to chase people who don't appreciate him." Classic mom. Saturday night, Emma and I went on a real date. Nice restaurant. No tension. No pretending. She showed up looking stunning, and the conversation flowed like we'd known each other forever. "Mike," she said gently, "can I ask you something?" "Of course." "What happened with your last relationship?" I told her the truth. No sugarcoating. She was embarrassed about my job. Thought dating a plumber was beneath her. Emma leaned forward, brows furrowed. "That's crazy. You're successful, you work hard, and you built something real. What more could someone want?" I shrugged. "Apparently, a corporate job in a shiny office." She shook her head. Her loss. Later that night, when I dropped her off, she smiled up at me and kissed me goodnight. And in that quiet moment, standing outside her door with the streetlights buzzing softly, I realized something. I hadn't felt that kind of spark in months. Vanessa was my past. But Emma? Emma felt like something real. It was a warm Friday evening, exactly 1 week after the restaurant disaster that blew everything up. I was in the garage, covered in a fine layer of sawdust, working on some shelves I'd been meaning to build for months. The hum of my power drill was steady, rhythmic, almost therapeutic. Then I heard the doorbell. I wiped my hands on a rag, expecting it to be Emma. We'd made plans to watch a movie and demolish some Thai food together. But when I opened the door, it wasn't Emma. It was Vanessa. Her mascara was streaked, her hair a little frizzy from crying, and beside her were 2 suitcases. Not 1. 2. "Mike," she choked out, "thank God you're home. I've been thinking all weekend. I know I can fix this. I just stood there, hands still dirty from the garage, my heart instantly tightening. Vanessa, what are you doing here? She clutched the handle of one of her suitcases like it was going to run away. I'm here to apologize, and move back in. My jaw actually dropped. You what? I realize I was completely wrong, she rushed out. Mike, I love you. I can fix this. We can fix this. I let out a short, bitter laugh. You can't just show up with luggage like nothing happened. Mike, please, just listen, she begged, stepping closer. I talked to Ashley and Madison and they both said I was crazy for saying what I said. I raised an eyebrow. So your friends had to tell you messed up? She frowned. That's not the point. I shook my head slowly. No, Vanessa, that's exactly the point. Her lip trembled. I know I screwed up, but we can work through this. There's nothing to work through. Yes, there is, she pleaded. I love you. I stared at her. You love me now? Or you love the fact that your friends told you I make more money than their boyfriends? That's not true, she whispered. Before I could answer, headlights swept across the driveway. Another car pulled up. And that's when the night really turned into a movie scene. Emma stepped out of her car, wearing a soft smile, holding 2 takeout bags and a bottle of wine. Vanessa spun around, eyes narrowing. Who is that? That's Emma, I said simply. Emma who? I didn't flinch. My girlfriend. Vanessa went pale. Your girlfriend? Yeah, I said. We've been seeing each other. For how long? About a week. Emma walked up, clearly confused by the emotional tornado waiting on my porch. She gave me a quick kiss, her hand warm against my arm. Hey, babe, she said gently. I brought Thai food. Everything okay? I forced a smile. Everything's fine. Vanessa was just leaving. Vanessa whipped her head toward me. I was not just leaving. Mike, we live together. I folded my arms. You moved out, remember? You needed time to think, I added. I didn't say I was moving out permanently, she shot back. You packed your stuff and left, I said evenly. That is moving out. Emma stepped forward with calm, polite confidence. Hi, I'm Emma. I don't think we've met. Vanessa's voice was sharp as a knife. I'm Vanessa. Mike's girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend, I corrected. Vanessa's head snapped toward me. Mike, tell her we're working things out. I met her eyes, steady, cold. We're not working anything out, Vanessa. I'm not leaving until we fix this, she yelled, voice cracking. There's nothing to fix, I said. You showed me what you really think of me. Emma looked between us, clearly uncomfortable. Mike, should I come back later? I shook my head. No, you should stay. Vanessa should go. Vanessa let out this disbelieving laugh, half sob, half rage. This is unbelievable. You're replacing me already? I didn't even raise my voice. I'm not replacing anybody. I'm moving forward with someone who actually respects what I do. Mike, I respect you, she insisted, tears streaking her face. I stepped closer, not to comfort her, but to be clear. No. You respect me now because you found out I make more money than Kevin and Brad. You were fine disrespecting me until you realized you looked stupid. Emma's eyes widened slightly. She disrespected your job? I nodded. Among other things. Vanessa's voice cracked. Mike, I was wrong. I admit it. I shook my head slowly. Vanessa, you weren't wrong. You were honest. You showed me who you are. And I finally believed you. She stood there on my doorstep for another minute, suitcases at her feet, crying. But I didn't move. I didn't cave. Finally, with a shuddering breath, she turned, dragged her bags back to her car, and drove off into the night. As the sound of her engine faded down the street, I let out a long breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. Emma set the takeout on the counter, gave me a soft smile, and said, well, that was dramatic. I laughed quietly. Yeah, but this time, I'm not losing sleep over it. We opened the wine, queued up a movie, and just like that, the past officially left my driveway. When Vanessa finally drove off that night, Emma and I went inside, and she just looked at me with this concerned little crease between her brows. Okay, she said softly, setting the takeout bags down on the counter. What was that? So, I told her everything. Every ugly word. Every moment from that dinner. Her reaction was exactly what I didn't know I needed. Mike, she sounds awful, Emma said, shaking her head. Who says something like that about someone they supposedly love? Seriously, what kind of person does that? I let out a breathy laugh. Someone who cares more about what other people think than what's actually real. Emma reached for my hand and squeezed it. Well, for the record, I think what you do is impressive. You built something from nothing, Mike. That's something to be proud of. That moment hit me harder than I expected. She didn't say it to flatter me. She meant it. That was 6 weeks ago. Emma and I are official now, and honestly, it's been incredible. She brags about me to her friends. She's proud to say I own my business. She never once makes me feel like I need to apologize for the life I built with my own hands. No eye rolls. No embarrassed introductions. Just real, genuine support. Vanessa tried calling a few more times after that night, but I blocked her number. A few days later, Ashley reached out once, saying, most people at work thought Vanessa was way out of line at that dinner. Yeah, no kidding. Then last week, I ran into Kevin at the gas station. He hesitated for a second, like he wasn't sure if I'd punch him or not, then walked over. Mike, he said awkwardly. Hey, man. Look, about that dinner. I shrugged. Don't worry about it. Nah, he insisted, rubbing the back of his neck. I feel bad. Vanessa was really harsh. Honestly, I was impressed when you told us what you make. I chuckled. Thanks. He lowered his voice. For what it's worth, she's been pretty miserable since you guys broke up. Keeps asking Ashley about you. I just nodded. That's unfortunate. She moved back in with her parents, he added. Apparently couldn't afford her own place without your help. I won't lie, hearing that hit different. So Vanessa went from living in my paid-off house, lecturing me about lifestyle, to crashing back at her parents' place because she couldn't keep that same lifestyle on her own. Funny how that works out. This whole thing taught me a brutal but valuable lesson. Some people don't care about who you are, they care about how you look to everyone else. Vanessa wanted a boyfriend who sounded impressive at dinner parties, even if he couldn't actually provide the life she wanted. She let other people's opinions dictate her choices, and in doing so, she lost something real. Meanwhile, I kept living my life. And now, I'm with someone who sees me, not the job title, not the social image, me. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't slamming a door or yelling in someone's face. Sometimes, it's just living well. And letting them face the consequences of the choices they made.